Hey all my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel, where we embrace our femininity, increase our womanly values, and celebrate our brothers. So join me on our feminine journey to learn, heal, and grow. Hey there everybody, how we doing today? Hopefully we are actually doing well. I'm actually looking for the particular clip that I wanted. Here we go. Everybody can hear me? When I say we cook, I am not just specifically talking about Black women. I'm talking about as a collective of people. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. Because, and why do I say this? Because we are some of the most God-forsaken people. And I mean that in a literal sense. Because as a collective, we have turned our backs on any kind of spiritual connection or any connection with the Most High at all. To literally witness a people be actually handed over to the reprobate mind. And for these same people to not even understand what's going on, to not know what's happening. I'm tired. I'm personally tired. We can't be helped as a group because we too selfish, we too stupid, we too emotional, we're too averse to thinking deeply about anything. Our eyes are closed too tightly. So we ain't gonna make it. We want a savior and a martyr to come get us. And when one come, we hate that person. We hate that person. We hate that person. And we talk about that person. We nitpick that person. We tear down that person. We can't stand that person. And when that person die, we think of ways to ruin the legacy and the reputation of that person. Thank you so much, Theo. Thank you for the very generous contribution. I appreciate you very much. But it's true. So I love the channel, but I don't like the title. We've overcome worse. Most of us weren't part of any movement. We need to celebrate one another more. I can't. You think I don't like having to come here and say this, but there's nothing for us to celebrate as a collective. Nothing. I'm sorry, artists. There's nothing. The individuals might be doing something. I'm not talking about it on an individual level. The reason we overcame things in the past, and the reason why we can't overcome them now is because in the past, we had some semblance of values and a sense of who we were. That was a symptom of it. I'm glad you understand that, Miss Mia. That the way in which people came together to specifically hate, you ain't even gotta like him. But the backhanded, passive aggressive, we hating on it, that was what was distasteful to me. I'm going to share a video with you that was recorded in 2003. And this is a clip with Aaron McGruder, which is the creator of the Boondocks. And I mean, I was hip to the Boondocks before it was a cartoon. when Boondocks was literally a skit in the funny papers, like literally in the newspaper. When you got the Sunday paper and you got the comic part, the Boondocks was in that part. I remember reading the Boondocks skit from there and was like, oh, it's a cartoon, when he finally made it a cartoon. Listen carefully. I'm going to run it back twice.
I really want you guys to understand that time is running out. And a lot of black people say that, but for real. Part of why the civil rights movement has been so successful, and part of why those who have come after in terms of our leadership have been able to maintain a presence, is that black people have always had a certain amount of moral currency that we have been using. And let me be the first to tell you, that's used up. White America has been watching us act like fools for a long enough time where any sympathy they may have had to our plight is completely gone. You're approaching a country that, forget hating black people or not hating black people, they just don't care. You can be talking about affirmative action, they can be like, I don't care. It literally is of no importance to me. I don't care about slavery. I don't care about segregation. I don't care about you. I don't care how many of you all go to jail. I don't care at all, because I'm broke. You can't be the proud, noble fighter when every single time someone sees a person that looks like you on television, they're acting like a damn fool. How would they know? How would they know you're not a damn fool? I really want you guys to understand that time is running out. And a lot of black people say that, but for real. Part of why the civil rights movement has been so successful, and part of why those who have come after in terms of our leadership have been able to maintain a presence, is that black people have always had a certain amount of moral currency that we have been using. And let me be the first to tell you, that's used up. White America has been watching us act like fools for a long enough time where any sympathy they may have had to our plight is completely gone. You're approaching a country that, forget hating black people or not hating black people, they just don't care. You can be talking about affirmative action, they can be like, I don't care. It literally is of no importance to me. I don't care about slavery. I don't care about segregation. I don't care about you. I don't care how many of you all go to jail. I don't care at all, because I'm broke. You can't be the proud, noble fighter when every single time someone sees a person that looks like you on television, they're acting like a damn fool. How would they know? How would they know you're not a damn fool? I really want you guys to understand.
And the black community, when he said that, and even in the comment section today, they're saying, oh, I don't care about what white people think about me. He's talking from a white perspective. He don't know what he's talking about. The one of the key things that he said in that little short snippet of his address was that it's no longer, and it's even more true in 2025 than it was in 2003 when he said it, that it isn't this country, it's not even about hating black people or not hating black people. The country is now apathetic. They're apathetic. And see, apathy is more dangerous, because apathy is like, whatever. And black people were still, I don't care what white people, that he wasn't really talking about what white people really think of us. It's how we now think of ourselves and how we have now identified with all of that. Because in the 60s, 70s, even before, during Reconstruction, even after, they so-called white people were always projecting that we were lazy. They was projecting that we were savages. They were projecting that we were unintelligent. They were projecting that, you know what I'm saying, all of these negative things about us. The difference from then and now is that we knew it was a projection. We did not take that on for us because we knew we were hardworking. We knew we had ingenuity. We knew we had work ethic. We knew we had a spiritual base. We knew we had the moral high ground. We knew we had values. We knew we had family structure. We knew we had positivity. We knew it. We knew it. And we acted according to that. So it was easy to separate. That's what white people think of you. But that's not how we think of ourselves. We don't actually do that. We know that that is a projection, that that is a narrative that they would like to spin to the world, but we don't subscribe to that for ourselves because it really and truly, in reality, that's not us. And so we were able to hold the moral high ground because we were morally better than them. And we knew that, and they knew that. We knew it, and they knew it. We knew we always had the moral high ground. We knew that. We knew who they were. They knew who they were. What's good, Hamp? I'm glad you tapped in. Hopefully you stick around for a while. We had a moral base because we had a spiritual base that was independent of what white people thought of us or the narrative that they tried to spin about us. It was independent of that. In 2025, we have embodied everything about that. And now they're apathetic about it. This is why I kept saying we're not going to get no reparations. Reparations to who and for what? They have less incentive in 2025 to dismantle institutional white survivalism for you than they did in the 50s, 60s, 70s, or during Reconstruction. They have less of an incentive. You can't pull on, see, this is why that boycotting for DEI ain't gonna work. That's not gonna work. Black folk don't know how to stand on no type of business. We don't stand on no business because in order to stand on business, you gotta have a code. And codes come from your spiritual value. That's where codes come from. Principle and code and your moral code and the things that you stand for that nothing can shake you out. That come from your spiritual connection. What is the spiritual connection? What is it? And I'm not talking about passively believing that a God exists. I'm not talking about that. Because whether you was in the masjid or whether you was in a church, we had solid spiritual ground. But we don't have that. We're now the monkeys that they used to say we were. We have embodied the savagery of all of that. You become a savage when you disconnect from the Most High. Disconnection from the Most High robs you of your humanity. Your humanity is directly tied to your connection to the Most High. I wish we understood that. We lose what makes us noble as people. Because without that anchor, you do anything now. Now you'll do anything for anything. Usually the thing that replaces the Most High as your God is money, whether you have it or not. What business is we standing on? Let's talk about the DEI, because it goes back to me saying black folk want a savior and a martyr, and then we hate them. You want to boycott Target because they don't have the DEI policy no more. And then you wanted, as a collective of black people, wanted all of the black-owned businesses, Tabitha's line of products, the lip bars line of products, literally wanted them people to sabotage their business because you want to have a temper tantrum that doesn't have any goal. It don't have no direction. There's no clear objective. There's no clear path of this is what we want. This is how we're going to acquire it. This is nothing, just an emotional that don't do it. And when them people came and said, I'm not sabotaging my $1 million business for y'all, not gonna do it. And I'm glad they didn't do it. And the reason I'm glad they didn't do it is because our leaders have not only sacrificed things like money, they've given their lives to the betterment of the black community. And the black community ain't get no better. You spit on them. You talk crap about Martin Luther King and all that kind of, we can't wait to be the Judases. Not even 30 pieces of silver. They giving you $30 that ain't even backed by no silver. You getting $30 worth of fiat currency to turn against the people that's for you. These men and women have literally died. And black folk ain't do nothing but get worse. We found a reason to talk about them like a dog. Found a reason to talk about Malcolm X like a dog. Found a reason to talk about Martin Luther like a dog. Found a reason to talk about Marcus Garvey like a dog. Found a reason to talk about, and Auntie Shahrazad, not even passed away, talked about her. Found a reason, we find reasons to exile the people who stand for us and try to stand for values in our culture and, you know what I'm saying, positivity in our culture and connectedness and just trying to be, we would rather do an expose, do a salacious expose on Martin Luther King's double life. We like to do a lot of Monday morning quarterbacking about how we would have did the civil rights movement in the 50s and the 60s. You don't know what you would have done because you wasn't there to do it. You wasn't there to see it. You were not there to experience it in real time, and you wasn't there to do it. Because you'll be mad with your mouth long enough to suck peas out of hot sauce bottle if you still had to sit at the back of a bus. I don't care if Rosa Parks was the one started it or not. You'd be able to fry 10 eggs on your head if it was still some white and black only signs somewhere. You'd be mad. And now that we don't have to experience that up close and in real time in our day-to-day lives, now we can do some Monday morning quarterbacking on how we would have did it and what they would have had. You don't know what. You can't overcome the subtle, systematic white supremacy and psychological game that they play on you. You can't overcome that today. But you're going to do a DEI boycott. Let me tell you something about your DEI boycott. I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to show you something about your little DEI boycott. Give me two little seconds. Hold on. I got something. Just for you. Let me minimize it a little bit because I'm going to show you something. I'm going to share my screen real quick. Hold on. Can you see that? You can see that? It's a company, DEI supporting companies and companies that abandon DEI. Companies that abandon it or scaling it back or denouncing DEI. Amazon. Are we boycotting Amazon? No, yes, no, we don't know. What about Boeing? If you got to catch a flight, you need to make sure that before you book your flight, that it is an Airbus, not a Boeing. I want you to make sure. Now you got to make sure. We got Caterpillar. So all you brothers that do construction and you got Caterpillar branded items, we're going to need you to not have those. We're going to need you to not deal with Caterpillar. Anybody that's driving a Ford at this moment, I'm going to need you to get rid of it. You got to get rid of it. We getting rid of Ford. Most folks ain't got a Harley Davidson, but if you ride bikes and you got your Harley or you want to get your Harley, I suggest that you put that right on up out your mind. John Deere, again, if you do any kind of construction or farm work or anything like that, go ahead, get ready. You just Lowe's, if you build anything, you need any type of hardware, you better try to find your handy Andy, and a Home Depot for Lowe's. McDonald's, I bet not catch you with a Big Mac in your mouth. I better not catch you with a Big Mac, a quarter pounder, nothing else off that value menu. You better leave McDonald's alone. Meta, get off of social media. I want y'all for Facebook and Instagram post haste. I want y'all log off. We boycotting DEI, right? Why are we just limiting it to Target? Why are we doing that? Shouldn't we stand on complete business? Huh? We standing on business or we not standing on business? All y'all driving these little Nissan Altimas, I'm going to need you to get rid of them. You probably need to get rid of them anyway. Stanley and Black & Decker. So anybody that use tools, toasters, vacuum cleaners, toaster ovens, any small kitchen appliance, I'm going to need you to get rid of it. Target, we're going to need you to get rid of it. Hold on. Let me show you the other side as well. Because we're not done. We're not done. We're not done with it. We still standing on business? Toyota. They got Tundra, but Toyota. Anybody with a Toyota and a Lexus. Toyotas make Lexus. We getting rid of them? No. Walmart. Don't shop at Aldi's. No Aldi's. So every black person that's in a food desert and the only store that sell all of the food items is Aldi's, you can't go. Yeah? No. We're not doing it. We're standing on business, right? We standing on DEI business, right? As a community, correct? What you get mad at one and you didn't get mad at the other ones for? I'm going to tell you why boycotting don't work. Several reasons. Number one, we are not a cohesive community enough to make a boycott work. Boycotts only work when you are more than 50% or a highly significant part of the demographic those goods and services are sold to. And so when you boycott that company, that business, whomever is gonna definitely feel it because you were their main demographic. And the loss of their bottom line make a lot of companies shift and turn around. In 2025, the vast majority of these big box, large corporations are owned by the same companies. Boycotting one and shopping at the other still gives that corporation money. Because the goods and services that can be sold from the DEI supporting side that can be sold on Amazon, gonna be sold on Amazon. They're gonna be sold in Walmart. They on the shelf at Target. So then that would mean not only are we boycotting the ones who actively roll back the DEI, but we also gonna have to boycott some of the other ones that's on the support DEI list because they do business with the non-DEI supporting companies. So now what? It's all or nothing. Because see, when we did the bus boycott in the 60s, first off, we had a plan of actions, going to be carpools. And then as a sacrifice, some folks going to have to walk for miles. There's a sacrifice involved with a boycott. Boycotts are not simple for you. You're depriving yourself so that they can feel it and understand that they can't do you wrong as a demographic because of some frivolous reason. But you feel it too. So it becomes like a Mexican standoff. Who's gonna crack? Is the company gonna crack? Because that bus service is cracked. First, they was like, fine, don't ride the bus. But what they realized was that we need these Negroes to ride the bus. We absolutely need these Negroes. White folk riding the bus do not do nothing for our bottom line. We need all of them Negroes that is not riding these buses. We need them back on the bus. So if the ask is that you not discriminate against me from sitting on the front of the bus or anywhere on the bus where there is available seating, or else you're going to suffer and go out of business as a bus company. They said, well, you know what? oh man, y'all, y'all, you know, we were, you know, y'all can ride the bus. You can ride the bus. Did we say y'all couldn't ride the bus with that front seat, back seat thing? Oh man, you know, that was just, you know, we just was, you know, trying to keep up with the culture. But you can ride in the front. I thought so. I thought we could. See, what had happened was with the seat situation. And I'm seeing it posted in the comments. I'm aware that there was a such thing as Black-owned bus companies, but they were not prolific enough to service all of the Black community that needed them. And that really wasn't the point anyway. The point is, if I'm gonna be here, you're not going to restrict my mobility like that. You're not gonna do it. You're not going to do it, because there are going to be places where those Black-owned bus companies are going to be limited to go. You can't go to this neighborhood because it's all white. You can't go to this place because it's getting dark. You can't. Let's not act like it was bus services in the same fashion that it's bus service today. So Black-owned bus company or not, they're going to be limited with what they able to do. And I'm pretty sure that Black people patronize those companies as well, as much as they could. But the point is, if I'm going to be here in this country and I can't go nowhere, you're not going to do me like that. Do we understand that? Black people in general, we live in a fantasy world where we think we can have complete autonomy and separation and a nation within this nation. And that's not real. Let me go to commercial break. After these messages, we'll be right back. Because the link is pinned to the top of the chat, ashkicking.com. Now is the perfect time to go to ashkicking.com and pick up yourself and your loved ones one of these wonderful body butters. Is actually so good. It's not tacky. It's not too heavy. It's not greasy. It's just right. It soaks right into the skin where it don't leave oil spots on your clothes or anything like that. And it smells wonderful. So you definitely want to go to ashkicking.com and pick you up some body butter. If this is going to be your first time ordering, please take advantage of the 10% discount using the promo code Crimson at checkout. Once again, the link is pinned to the top of the chat, ashkicking.com. Oh, you gotta bam, 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 bam. You gotta hit the like button, bam, bam. You gotta Let me go to the super chats. Thank you, She's Queens. Have been busy lately, but still want to stop by, say hello, keep doing what you're doing. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you, HVAC. So this is why I went on a rant a couple videos back about the older generation. We're trying to save something that can't be fixed and don't want to be fixed. Black people just don't want to fix it. Yeah. Thank you, Dre the Dreams, so much for your contribution. Thank you again, HVAC. So the Honorable Louis Farrakhan, Elijah Muhammad said, Black America has everything it needs. Question is, what are we waiting on? But it's too late to answer these questions. Once again, HVAC said, the thing I do see is millennials and Gen Z generation finally getting away from all this toxic culture, honestly, in order to survive. What we must segregation among ourselves, and say if they hated me, then they'll hate you. The Messiah himself said this. Thank you, Chris B. Said Mark Lamont, he'll talk crazy about Dr. Cress Welsing. Shaking my head. Speaking of boycott, now the Asian beauty supply store is going to get boycotted too. Exactly. Thank you, Frederick, said, who has been a member for 9 months. I appreciate you. Shout out to Crimson Cure and chat. Shout out to you as well. Thank you, RLI. The Montgomery boycott lasted 381 days. We don't have that kind of fortitude today. We do not. And thank you, Miss Mia, for your super sticker. I appreciate you. We are not going to be a nation within a nation. We can't do that. There are a plethora of things wrong with us as a group. Okay. First off, we already tried the separate but equal situation. And the reason why that didn't work is because this nation saw all of those communities and all of those instances where we actually did build different institutions that we were running, that we had control over, things of that nature. They view them as a threat. And each and every time they went on a deletion spree over it, sending the military in, sending the police in. They viewed it as a clear and present threat. Just our economic, we just going to make our own community. We just going to do, see, we talk about Tulsa, but what about when they did it in, I want to say Baltimore in the 80s? I'm going to do research on it, that community. And it was Black people homeschooling their children, buying up property, owning the houses, owning the blocks, sent the police right in there. Said they was a terrorist group, like they did Waco. So anytime, if that was Philly, thank you for the correction. It was Philly. We can't do that here because we don't have the military might to confront and defeat the United States military. Because that's what it would come to. That's what it would absolutely come to that. It would absolutely come to that. It has always come to that. It has always come to that. Now, we say, let's go and create our own place or our own country or what have you. At this point in 2025, see, with the leadership that we had or we was able to have in the 60s, the 50s, the 70s, see, we can't do it now because in modern history, in over the past 30 or 40 years, I have not seen any evidence that Black people can govern properly. Because just about every, with the exception of a handful, but just about every city or township in the United States that is run by majority Black people is a cesspool. It is bankrupt. The leadership is non-existent. The corruption is high, and it does not thrive. Just bad decisions after bad decisions after bad decisions. Incompetency, all of it. I have not truly seen in modern history, modern day, over the past 30 years, let's say 30 to 50 years, of any city, be it big or small, where the municipal government was majority ran by Black people. I have not seen the thriving. I've not seen it. I've not seen it. That's why I be trying to figure out, what do people be talking about when they be talking about vote Black people into office for what? Vote Black people into office for what? To do what? Because I have not seen any time that has been done that we have thrived. Gary, Indiana did not thrive. Did not thrive. Chicago has been under Black leadership for 2 mayors in a row now. Lightfoot and Johnson. And they have run my po-home city into the ground. So I'm trying to figure out who we're going to trust with building infrastructures for us as a group. We don't want to homeschool. We don't want to make no sacrifices, and that's the problem. We don't think that there should be any beloved, had a whole black president. And folks talking about some should have voted Kamala in there. To do what? For what? First of all, black people was too stupid to realize that she's not black. Because you don't like Candace Owens, you purposely ignored her entire expose of that woman's whole genealogy and bloodline. Did a whole expose on that woman's bloodline. And because you don't like Candace, you ignored it. Anytime Trump signed an executive order that you either don't know what it is or don't understand it or just don't like it, y'all turn around and say, this is who y'all voted for. This is who voted for. The vast majority of black men and women that voted in this election voted Democrat. So who y'all be talking to? We can't be helped because we don't want to be helped. We can't be helped because we don't want to be helped. We backstab our own. We do it to ourselves. See, people wanted to attribute all of this other symbolism to Kendrick's last show. Do you want to know what he really meant by having Samuel Jackson as Uncle Sam, as the representative? Because Uncle Sam in that whole skit show was the hater. He was hating. If y'all listen to everything he was saying, he was hating. He wasn't congratulating. He wasn't encouraging Kendrick. He was hating on him. Trying to tell him what to do, trying to tell him how to, you know what I'm saying, and calling him ghetto and calling him stupid again. He was a hater. The reason why he was black is, especially in my interpretation of it, is Kendrick was saying it be your own that be hating. It ain't even white America. It's my own. It's the people that look like me that hate me the worst. We keep each other down. There was not one white person on that stage. We do it to us. We do it. Us. We're the ones that hate and talk crazy and hold each other back and rig the game. And we do that to us. See, all of that white man is the boogeyman. Done. With friends like us, who needs the enemies? With friends like us, who needs the enemies? What Kendrick was confronting white people. No, he was not. Kendrick was confronting us with that show. He was talking to and about us, not white people. We don't like nothing and nobody that speak against the fact that we live and have embodied the lost value system at this point as a group. And anybody that talk against that say something against that try to get us away from that and try to, as a group, kind of draw our attention to how we have damaged and continue to damage ourselves. We don't need the outside external thing. We're doing it to ourselves at this point. We hurt ourselves at this point. We don't come together because we don't want to come together. We are chafed against that. We don't have the discipline to do it. We don't have the patience to do it. We don't want to have the spiritual connection, because the spiritual connection means that we have to disconnect from the worldly thing, like being so immersed in all of your worldly daily activity that we have to give some of that energy to the Most High and connect it to the Most High, because that calls for discipline in yourself. That calls for some type of restriction upon you that you choose to do. We're such a hard-headed people. We don't want to submit. We don't want to submit. And that's why we're going to keep going through all kind of problems, because you don't submit, and you know how to submit. You know what to submit to. You know what the benefit of the submission is, and you won't do it. We hard-headed and obtuse. We contrarians for the sake of it. Any of our scholars that come up and say, you know what, we've studied the evidence and we've watched our people and we watched the world and this is how we need to move, y'all, in this capacity. Those who have not cracked a single page in a single book will argue them down about how their conclusion was wrong. Just loud and wrong. Just loud and wrong. We have celebrated being loud and wrong. Thinking we, quote unquote, thinking outside of the box. You loud and wrong. Always thinking we coming up with something new and innovative. You loud and wrong. We uphold foolishness because that's what we call being on code. We volunteer to be sheep and then get mad when we're led to the slaughter. But at the same token, you willingly walk over there to the slaughterhouse. Because when we try to tell you it's a pasture just right over there, you don't got to go over there to the slaughterhouse for real. Like, it's a whole pasture that we get. Well, how you know? Okay. You ever been to the pasture? As a matter of fact, I did. And you didn't take us over there? Well, I'm trying to show you where it's at. Nah, you ain't take us over there first time. So whatever. And when we say, well, we ain't walking over there to the slaughterhouse with you, I sell out. Okay. I hope don't nobody step up to quote unquote save Black people, because we can't be saved. Because we would rather nitpick and tear down the person that come to remind us what we should do, or remind us what the Most High said, or remind us what we don't like the reminder. But Allah put it the way it need to go in the Quran, that the reminders is good for the believers. He didn't say it was good for everybody. وَذَكِّرْ فَإِنَّ الذِّكْرَى تَنْفَعُ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ. Reminders is good for the believers. None of them stories you read in the Quran or in the Bible about how stick-necked the Bani Israel were should surprise you. And it really shouldn't surprise you that we are the ancestors of those lines of people, because we just as stiff-necked now as the ancestors was then. Shouldn't surprise us that we descended. Should not. Because you just as Moses wasn't 10 feet up Mount Sinai before they had the golden calf that they were worshiping. Talking about he ain't come back down. He ain't got up there. Left him in the wilderness to learn the lesson for 40 years and you still didn't learn it. You watched the plagues of Egypt and you were still mad that he did. Yeah, where he leading us to? Back to bondage. That's where I'm gonna lead you. Back to Fir'aun, so he can take care of you. Since you liked it so much. Since you liked being enslaved so much. You want to know why the Sharia that is in the Torah is so strict? You ever thought about that? y'all ever thought about why that Sharia is so strict? Because Negroes was always being Negroes, asking too many questions, trying to be slick. That's where all them rules came from. You want a rule? I'm going to give you one. I'm going to give you one. I'm not even going to get into the story of the cow in the Quran. To such an extent that the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, told his Sahaba, don't ask a whole bunch of questions. When I give you something to do, just do that. Don't ask no whole bunch of detail, because when you ask, I don't say it out of my mouth. It's not my idea. I'm getting revelation from Allah. And it's going to be a law. Thank you. Oh, you who believe, Ask not about things which, if made plain to you, may cause you trouble. Don't, because you're getting into little details. Don't do that. Don't do it. Because if a law starts making things a law, now you're going to be beholden to it. And if you don't do it, you'll be sinful. Don't make a law, make it strict, too strenuous for you to do. Because it's not even meant for that to begin with. It's a structure. It's not meant to be impossible. Thank you. Kisei said they did it in Forsyth County, Georgia, and in Florida. Thank you, AKRS1. Been a member for 6 months at Ibrahim. I can't pronounce it. Faso, West Africa, doing great things. Why not leave here? Thank you, the Builders Table. Say, indeed, Allah is all in all. Assalamu alaikum wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. May Allah continue to bless everyone. Hey, Gold P, how you doing? And again, AKRS1 said, we don't want to build infrastructure. We want to be entertained. That's the downfall. Always want to be somewhere laughing and giggling. Thank you again, HVAC. I don't like Candace Owens, but where did she lie? Candy didn't lie about that woman. She didn't. So how can you build a new Jedi order when you're trying to hold on to the old order's ideals? The Sith won over the Jedi for this reason. Same analogy. Thank you, Christian Hutchinson, says Samuel played the house slave in Django. Thank you, Sid, for becoming a new member. I appreciate you.
But now you have been promoted. You are now one of my elite employees.
Thank you again, HVAC. Said KS said by 2030, the whole game is about to change. He knew what was coming. And thank you again, Sid. So I call it a roach mentality, not roaches. Peace and blessings. We can't be roaches because roaches survive because of their togetherness. We worse than roaches. You done said something else. Thank you. And thank you, Hamp. Said a cow 247 is my favorite. Hashtag chosen people. You know, if I had it queued up, I would read people what I'm talking about. And thank you. I would read people what I was talking about the Bani Israel and their interaction with Musa. Just one of the interactions with him. And I might have said it before on this show. But a quick rundown was a man of the Bani Israel was murdered and no one knew who did it. So Musa alayhi salam got the revelation from Allah that if a cow was slaughtered, put a piece of the cow on the dead man and he will talk and reveal who his murderer was. That was going to be the miracle that was performed. So the instruction was, Musa told the people, go slaughter a cow and bring me a piece of it. Now that's simple. Go slaughter a cow. Go slaughter a cow and bring me a piece of it. What kind of cow? What color is the cow? How old is the cow? Musa answers all of the questions. And each time it got real specific. The cow is neither old nor too young. The cow is a bright yellow. It's a bright color. It's striking to the eye. Every time they asked a question, he had to answer. But it's not Musa's answer. It's Allah's answer. And then once they got through all these specifics that didn't need to be added, the directive was to slaughter a cow. Period. If Allah had wanted it to be a very specific cow, he would have said that. He didn't say that. The initial order was slaughter a cow. So now, with all of that, they can't go get another cow. They have to get the specific cow. And only then, oh, now you have brought the truth, Musa. It was the audacity. And then they slaughtered the cow. And Allah says, but they were close to not doing it. It was, they were doing all of that in a spirit of disobedience. They was trying to not do it. And when I read that again, I said, that's why them laws is like they are. Because you kept on asking questions. And he kept on giving you something even more specific, more specific, more specific. Jump down in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Like, share, subscribe to the channel if you have not. Once again, I'm your hostess, The Crimson Cure, and this was my perspective. Bye-bye, Crimsonites.